Ever walk into a dealership and see a bike so good you can't believe no one's buying it? Brand new, shiny, untouched, and still sitting there like it's cursed. In 2025, even Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Suzuki have machines dealers can't give away. Not because they're junk, but because riders stopped paying attention. Big mistake. These bikes are way better than the market thinks. Let's start with the one that perfectly proves it. A bike that used to dominate sales, but now dealers can't move even with massive discounts. At number 7, the Kawasaki Ninja 650, the once loved middleweight that's now collecting dust. For years, the Kawasaki Ninja 650 was the default answer to anyone asking, what's a good first big bike? It had the power, the comfort, and the price tag to make sense. But in 2025, the Ninja 650's glory days are over, and dealers across the US, UK, and Asia are feeling it. Here's what's happening. 2024 and 2025 Ninja 650 units are piling up. According to recent dealership inventory reports, unsold Ninja 650s are staying on lots for nearly 160 days on average, almost double the time of bikes like the Yamaha MT-07 or Honda CB750 Hornet. In some US regions, dealerships are slashing prices by $1,000 to $1,400 below MSRP just to clear stock. So why the sudden rejection of a bike that used to be a bestseller? The first problem is identity fatigue. The Ninja 650 is caught between two worlds. Too soft for serious sport riders and too sporty for commuters. Riders who once bought it for everyday use are now choosing adventure-style bikes like the Versys 650 or Yamaha Tracer 7, which offer better comfort, more range, and a fresher look. Then comes technology stagnation. Kawasaki hasn't meaningfully updated the Ninja 650 in years. The parallel twin engine still makes around 68 horsepower, which isn't bad, but rivals now offer more features for less money. The Honda CB750 Hornet has a TFT display, ride modes, and traction control, all missing here. Riders walking into showrooms see the Ninja's old LCD dash and dated styling and think, why would I pay full price for this? Even the design, once a strength, feels stale. The 2025 version looks nearly identical to the 2020 model, while Yamaha and Honda have modernized their entire mid-range lineup. In a social media age where looks sell bikes as much as specs, the Ninja feels invisible next to sharper, tech-packed competition. But perhaps the biggest reason the Ninja 650 is tanking is price creep. The current MSRP sits around $8,900, which doesn't sound bad until you realize that the CF Moto 700 CLX offers more power, more tech, and better components for less than $7,500. The gap between Japanese and Chinese-built motorcycles has narrowed, and riders are noticing. Dealers in Europe report the same trend. In the UK, several Kawasaki branches have leftover 2024 models still on display, with finance deals and accessory bundles failing to move them. Riders just aren't lining up for the Ninja anymore. Not because it's unreliable, but because it's uninspired. Ironically, the Ninja 650's strength, reliability, is now part of the problem. People know it'll last forever, so they're just buying used ones. The used market is flooded with clean, low-mileage examples selling for $5,000 to $5,500, making new buyers question why they'd pay nearly double for something that hasn't changed. It's a sad turn for what used to be Kawasaki's bread-and-butter sport bike, mechanically solid, smooth, and predictable, but overshadowed by bikes that feel fresher and more exciting. The Ninja 650 still rides beautifully, but in a 2025 market obsessed with innovation and style, solid and safe doesn't move units. It's the perfect reminder that even reliability can get boring, and boredom is deadly for sales. But if the Ninja's biggest flaw is being too familiar, the next Japanese motorcycle on this list went in the opposite direction. It tried to be bold, futuristic, and exciting, and buyers completely rejected it. At number 6, The Honda CB650R, the middleweight beauty that no one's buying anymore. The Honda CB650R was once a fan favorite, a perfectly balanced mix of neo-retro looks, four-cylinder smoothness, and Honda reliability. It had that rare quality of feeling premium without being pretentious. But in 2025, things have flipped. Dealers from the US to Europe are practically begging people to take them home, slashing prices by up to $1,200 below MSRP, and still, they sit. So what happened to this golden child? The short answer, the market moved forward, and Honda didn't. When it launched, the CB650R was praised for its refined inline-4 engine, producing 94 horsepower. It was a callback to Honda's classic street machines, smooth and civilized compared to the twin-cylinder chaos of rivals. But in 2025, smooth doesn't sell. Riders want punch, tech, and torque, things the CB650R doesn't deliver enough of. The CB750 Hornet killed it, plain and simple. Honda's new parallel twin middleweight makes almost the same power, weighs 40 pounds less, and comes loaded with features the 650R never got: ride modes, a TFT dash, Bluetooth connectivity, and modern traction control. To make it worse, the Hornet is cheaper, starting at around $9,300, while the CB650R sits near $9,800. That price overlap has doomed the 650R from within Honda's own lineup. Dealers know it too. One Midwest Honda rep recently admitted, "We can't even upsell the 650R. People take one look at the Hornet's display and move on." That's a painful truth for a bike that was once Honda's most polished middleweight. Then there's the style issue. While the CB650R's neo-retro look once stood out, the trend has shifted. Retro now means authentic. Bikes like the Yamaha XSR700 or Kawasaki Z650RS carry genuine vintage charm, while the CB650R's blend of modern lines and old-school accents looks a bit confused. Even the inline-4 engine, once its main attraction, now feels unnecessary in this category. Four-cylinder bikes are heavier, more complex, and pricier to maintain, things that don't sit well with today's budget-conscious riders. In a world where smaller twins like the CF Moto 450 NK or Suzuki GSX-8S offer similar thrills for thousands less, the CB650R's refinement has become its downfall. In Japan, it's even worse. Dealers have started bundling free accessories, helmets, jackets, even maintenance vouchers, just to move leftover stock. The 650R's sales dropped nearly 35% year over year, with production rumored to slow in 2026 as Honda focuses entirely on the Hornet series. It's a classic case of a bike doing everything right and still losing. The CB650R remains one of the best handling street bikes Honda ever made, but it's fighting a war it can't win. One against its own sibling and a market that no longer wants refined. The CB650R proves that even great bikes can go unsold when timing and technology leave them behind. But if the CB650R's curse was being too polite for its own good, the next Japanese motorcycle fell into the opposite trap. It tried to act like a muscle bike and ended up scaring away everyone who looked at it. At number 5, the Suzuki Katana, the revival no one asked for. When Suzuki brought back the Katana name in 2019, it should have been a slam dunk. Retro styling, a legendary badge, and that famous GSX lineage under the hood. But in 2025, dealers are learning the hard way it only works if the execution feels right. And the Katana? It missed the mark by a mile. The Katana was supposed to be Suzuki's bold comeback, a mix of modern performance and classic 1980s design cues. On paper, it had all the ingredients. A 999 cubic centimeter inline-4 derived from the GSXR 1000, producing a healthy 150 horsepower and a price tag around $13,500. But here's the problem. Buyers in 2025 have no idea who the Katana is supposed to be for. It's not a sport bike, it's not a tourer, it's not even a comfortable standard. It's a weird in-between. A heavy, cramped street fighter wearing retro armor. Riders under 40 don't care about its heritage, and older riders who do remember the original Katana aren't sold on this reboot's awkward ergonomics and plastic-heavy styling. Dealers across North America and Europe report that 2023 and 2024 Katana units are still unsold, some now discounted by over $2,000 below MSRP. One Suzuki dealer in the UK even joked, "We sell 3 SV650S for every Katana we move." That's brutal, considering the SV650 is half the price. And here's the kicker, it's actually a great engine. The inline 4 screams, pulls hard, and feels alive, but everything around it feels mismatched. The riding position is too aggressive for commuting, yet too upright for track use. The seat comfort is minimal, and the tank design, that futuristic square-cut look, looks cool in photos, but awkward in person. Suzuki tried to update it for 2023 with new ride modes, a quick shifter, and improved traction control, but it wasn't enough. The moment competitors like the Yamaha MT-09SP and Honda CB-1000, Hornet hit the floor with better tech, lighter weight, and sharper design. The Katana faded into irrelevance. Even resale is disastrous. Used Katanas from 2020 to 2023 now go for as little as $7,000 to $8,000. Less than many new middleweights. That's nearly a 45% depreciation in just a few years. Painful for any premium motorcycle. In short, the Katana tried to blend the past and the future, but ended up appealing to neither. It's overpowered for casual riders, underfeatured for tech lovers, and overpriced for everyone else. Dealers don't hate it because it's unreliable. They hate it because they can't explain it. The Suzuki Katana is proof that nostalgia doesn't sell unless the experience matches the memory. And if Suzuki's misfire shows how reviving an old name can go wrong, the next Japanese motorcycle on this list proves that even new names can fail when performance and purpose don't line up. At number 4, the Yamaha Tracer 9 GT Plus, the touring marvel that overshot its audience. Yamaha's Tracer 9 GT Plus should have been one of the easiest motorcycles to sell in 2025. It has everything on paper: radar-assisted cruise control, cornering ABS, electronic suspension, heated everything, and that buttery smooth 890 cubic centimeter triple engine that everyone loves. But despite all that, dealers across the US, the UK, and Australia can't move them. The reason? It's simply too much bike for the buyers it's meant for, and too expensive for everyone else. The Tracer 9 GT Plus now sits at around $16,500, but here's the problem. That price pushes it into the premium touring space, where buyers expect luxury brand polish. So when riders can get a BMW F900 XR, Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro, or Honda NT 1100 for similar or less money, Yamaha's high-tech tourer suddenly looks overpriced. It's not that riders don't like it, most who test ride it are impressed, but it doesn't generate emotional pull. In 2025, buyers either want a full adventure bike or a minimalist sport tourer. The Tracer 9 GT Plus sits awkwardly in between. It's loaded with tech, but lacks the prestige or simplicity that drives modern sales. Dealers report the same pattern everywhere. People love the test ride, then buy something cheaper or flashier. Many who want long-distance comfort are now buying smaller bikes like the Yamaha Tenere 700, which offers the same reliability and range for nearly half the cost. The features that once made the GT Plus special, radar cruise, semi-active suspension, and IMU-based safety aids, no longer impress buyers the way they did in 2023. They've become standard on cheaper bikes, and Yamaha's updates haven't kept pace. The TFT display is crisp but cluttered, the menus are slow, and riders who once wanted high-tech toys are realizing they'd rather save a few thousand and buy simpler machines. Worse, even Yamaha loyalists feel priced out. Longtime Tracer 909 GT owners don't see enough reason to upgrade. The older models already offered cruise control, heated grips, and touring comfort at thousands less. So while Yamaha built a technical masterpiece, it forgot the emotional hook, the reason someone wants to own it. Resale hasn't helped either. 2023 2023 GT Plus models that sold for nearly $17,000 now go for around $11,000 to $12,000 on the used market. That kind of depreciation kills confidence, and riders notice. Mechanically, the Tracer 9 GT Plus is still one of the best sport tourers in the world. Powerful, refined, and dependable. But in 2025, people aren't paying for perfection. They're paying for character. The Tracer 9 GT Plus is the perfect example of how being too advanced can actually hurt sales. It's a brilliant machine, just built for a market that moved on. And if Yamaha's high-tech tourer stumbled by overreaching, the next bike on this list proves that even simplicity can fail when the execution feels too old to justify the price tag. At number 3, the Honda CB500X, the adventure bike that ran out of adventure. There was a time when the Honda CB500X was the go-to lightweight adventure bike. Affordable, approachable, and dependable. It was the sensible choice for new riders who wanted a taste of the ADV world without wrestling a heavy machine. But by 2025, dealers are finding themselves overstocked with CB500Xs that just won't move, even with big discounts and incentives. The reason? The market outgrew it, and Honda forgot to evolve it fast enough. At around $7,300, the CB500X sounds like a good deal, until you realize that for a little more, you can buy a Transal 750 or Yamaha Tenere 700, both of which offer better performance, better suspension, and better tech. The CB500X hasn't kept up, and riders notice it the moment they see its old LCD dash, basic suspension, and modest twin-cylinder engine still making the same 47 horsepower it's had for nearly a decade. In an age where new midweights like the CF Moto 700 CLX Adventure and Suzuki 5 Strom 650 XT are offering more power and modern electronics at similar prices, the CB500X feels dated. Dealers in the US and Europe report that buyers often sit on it, like it, and then say, "It's nice, but it feels old." Honda tried minor tweaks, improved forks, new LED lights, and slightly better braking, but those didn't move the needle. Riders want a sense of progress. When the Transalp 750 launched, it instantly cannibalized CB500X sales. Buyers realized they could stretch their budget a little further and get a real adventure machine with more comfort and range. In Japan and Southeast Asia, where the CB500X once dominated, sales have dipped sharply, with smaller, cheaper ADVs like the Yamaha XTZ250 or Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 taking over. The CB500X no longer feels like the obvious choice it once was. The used market has reflected that shift too. Dealers report used CB500Xs selling faster than new ones, especially pre-2020 models priced around $4,500 to $5,000. Why pay thousands more for a model that looks and feels the same? Still, the CB500X remains bulletproof. It's one of those Hondas that'll outlast its owner with minimal maintenance. But in 2025, reliability alone doesn't sell bikes. Riders want excitement, identity, and value. The CB500X didn't become worse, it just stopped being enough. And now, dealerships are learning that even Honda's reputation can't save a motorcycle that's been coasting for too long. If the CB500X shows what happens when a great bike stands still, the next one on this list proves that even when a company tries to reinvent a legend, sometimes the past is exactly what holds it back. At number 2, the Suzuki GSXS 1000 GT Plus, a touring powerhouse that buyers simply walked past. The Suzuki GSX S1000 GT Plus had everything going for it on paper. A strong engine, great handling, and a comfortable semi-sport touring setup that seemed perfect for aging riders who still loved speed. But in 2025, Suzuki dealers are swimming in unsold GT Plus units. Some still left from 2023 stock, and they're getting desperate. Discounts of up to $1,800 are now common, with accessory bundles thrown in just to get people interested. The strange part? It's not a bad bike. Far from it. It's just a bike without an audience. Let's start with the specs. The GSX S1000 GT Plus packs Suzuki's tried and tested 999 cubic centimeter inline 4, borrowed from the old GSX R1000, detuned to deliver a strong, smooth 150 horsepower. The motor is bulletproof. The ride quality is fantastic. But that's exactly the problem. It's too perfect, too polished, and too old school for what the touring crowd wants now. Modern buyers want either comfort and tech, like the Yamaha Tracer 9 GT Plus or Honda NT 1100, or simplicity and price, like the Kawasaki Versys 650. The Suzuki lands right in between, which means it pleases everyone on test rides, but excites no one at purchase. At $15,000, it's priced awkwardly close to bikes with more advanced features, adaptive cruise, semi-active suspension, or radar systems. And when a rider with that kind of money walks into a showroom, they don't want something almost premium. They want a machine that screams innovation. The GT Plus looks modern enough, but beneath the glossy blue fairings, it's basically a dressed-up GSX S1000 with side bags. Even Suzuki fans are hesitating. The previous GSX S1000F models perform almost as well, can be found for under $9,000 used, and don't feel much different to ride. That's why dealers are struggling. No one sees the reason to pay full price for incremental upgrades. Comfort has also been a sticking point. Riders report the seat being firm after 200 miles, and the pillion setup isn't nearly as forgiving as rivals. It's a brilliant sport tourer for solo riders, but it falls short of being a true two-up tourer, and that's the audience Suzuki was targeting. Dealers in the UK and US have admitted privately that GT Plus models often sit unsold for up to 8 months, even during peak riding season. One Midwest dealership even packaged the GT Plus with a free helmet, jacket, and first service, and still moved only one in 2 months. It's a tough break for a great machine. The GSX S1000 GT Plus rides beautifully, handles tight roads like a dream, and has all the reliability Suzuki is known for. But the world's changed. Buyers either want raw emotion or futuristic tech, and the GT Plus gives them neither. The Suzuki GSX-S 1000 GT Plus is proof that even excellence can become invisible when the market stops caring about the middle ground. And if Suzuki's over-polished tourer fell victim to the too much of everything, not enough of anything curse, the next Japanese motorcycle shows what happens when a company builds the right bike, but at completely the wrong time. At number 1, the Honda NT 1100, the comfort king that couldn't find its kingdom. When Honda launched the NT 1100, it was supposed to be a slam dunk, the ultimate touring bike for riders who wanted Goldwing comfort without Goldwing bulk. It borrowed the Africa Twin's 1084 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, added a full fairing, advanced electronics, and the option of a DCT automatic transmission. On paper, it looked like the perfect balance of practicality, power, and price. But by 2025, it's one of the slowest selling Hondas in showrooms. Even with heavy incentives and new color options, dealers are struggling to convince people it's worth the price tag. Let's unpack why. At $13,999, the NT 1100 sounds fair, until you realize it competes with the Yamaha Tracer 9 GT Plus, Suzuki GSX-S 1000 GT Plus, and Triumph Tiger 900 GT. All three offer similar power and more aggressive styling. The NT 1100, meanwhile, plays it safe, too safe. It looks like a corporate commuter bike that swallowed a tourer's fairing. Riders walk past it without even realizing it's new. Then there's the DCT issue. While Honda's automatic gearbox is engineering brilliance, it still splits opinions. Older riders love the ease of no clutching, but younger buyers see it as dull. The few who do want DCT often just buy an Africa Twin, which feels more adventurous and offers the same drivetrain for only a bit more money. Dealers report that unsold 2024 NT 1100S are still sitting in inventory across the US and Europe. In the UK, where it was once expected to dominate touring sales, registration data shows a 40% decline year over year. Meanwhile, Honda's own CB750 Hornet and Transalp 750 are flying off the floor. Riders simply want lighter, cheaper, and sportier. It doesn't help that the NT1100 doesn't photograph well. In a digital-first world where social media influences buying behavior, design matters more than ever. And the NT's boxy silhouette just doesn't excite. It's a functional bike in a market driven by fantasy. And while Honda nailed comfort, big windscreen, plush seat, and smooth suspension, they built it for a buyer demographic that's shrinking. Touring riders today don't want heavy mile eaters. They want versatile machines that can handle city rides and weekend trips alike. The NT1100 is superb on highways, but feels clumsy in urban traffic, especially in DCT trim. Resale values reflect the drop in demand. Early 2023 models that once sold for $14,000 now hover around $9,500 to $10,000, depending on mileage. That's brutal depreciation for a bike barely 2 years old. Still, owners who actually buy and ride the NT1100 love it. It's quiet, comfortable, and nearly indestructible. It's everything a long-distance rider could want, if only there were more of them left. The Honda NT1100 proves that even perfect comfort can fail when the audience has already moved on. It's not a bad bike. It's just a touring machine built for a world that's no longer touring. Every bike on this list tells the same story. Even the most trusted Japanese brands can misjudge what riders want. It's not about reliability anymore. It's about emotion, design, and timing. These machines didn't fail mechanically. They failed to excite. Which one do you think deserves a second chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more deep dive breakdowns, and we'll see you in the next ride.